What if it's not about finding the right person, but finding someone that you can build with? I feel like the world has taught us that we should step out and find the person that is just the one. But how do you identify what the one is if you meet the one and they check off these boxes, but the other boxes are not checking off? A lot of people think that that means maybe that's not the one. Maybe there's another one out here that's going to check off all these boxes. Totally excuse the background noise because I'm at the park and apparently they're upgrading it. And what's crazy about any upgrades at the park is like the way that the world is right now. I constantly think like, what is the agenda? What do they have planned? What are they doing? Why are they building stuff at this park? Like, the world doesn't have my trust right now at all, okay? They don't have my trust. So I always think like, what do they have going on? So excuse any of the background noise that you do hear. I apologize in advance, all right? The noise didn't start until I started recording, so we already know what that is. I've been thinking about relationships lately because I've been in a space where I've been dating, and I'm starting to come to realize that a lot of what we've been taught is not right. It's not right, okay? Let me just say that. And today, as I was having a couple conversations and just chilling at the park and sitting down, I'm like, what if it's not about finding the right person? It's about building with the right person. And what I mean by this is we think we're going to step out and find this perfect picture, this perfect person who checks off all these boxes. And when they don't check off these boxes or something goes wrong, it's like, okay, well, this must mean that we need to date more and go out and find somebody else. When really, I was having a conversation with my mom earlier, and she was like, in our generation, we were building with the men. And then if things did not work out, we already were at a different level in life to where, okay, if we separated, at least we were better off than where we started together. And we could go our separate ways. So I was like, that makes so much sense, but Mom, you have to understand that most of the relationships that we saw when we were younger were very extremely toxic. So now girls are stepping out and they're like, listen, I need to make sure I have my own security. I need to make sure I have my own car. I need to make sure I have my own house. I need to make sure I have my own money because I don't want this man to be able to kick me out, leave me at any moment, cheat with somebody else, and now I'm stuck. And I've been helping him build, but I have nothing to show for what I've been pouring into him. I'm like, Mom, we watch these toxic relationships, so life is kind of set up. This generation is different with how we look at relationships and love and things of that nature. But it made me sit down and think, why are we trying to struggle? Like, why are we trying to have all this stuff together before we get into a relationship? Why don't we just build with somebody and trust the fact that we vetted correctly? We made sure he was spiritually grounded, that his mind was in the right space, that he was willing to change, that he was willing to grow, and vice versa. We both are willing and eager to become better together, even if it doesn't work out. I feel like we possess people too much to where it's like it has to be this person for the rest of our life, and this is what it has to be, and if it doesn't, then when it ends, or if it ends, then we go into the next situation like, oh no, I need to have this, that, and the third because the last situation didn't work out and this happened. And it's like, some people and some things are just for seasons in your life. It's not forever. But why stay stagnant or stuck or in fear while you're in that season with that person to where neither of you grow? You're just taking up space. Why not build with that person? Of course, build in a smart way. Build in a way to where you don't feel obligated to stay if things don't leave. But why not build with that person and become better so that regardless of how things go, you both are on a different level and in a different space. So I've just been thinking, like, we've been looking at relationships wrong. And with this society and the way things are set up, especially with us being young, it's like, oh, you need to date as many people as you can. You need to go out and have fun. You need to do this and do that. But how many women waste their life and get ran through and end up having babies by people they weren't supposed to be with because they're trying to keep up with this dating lifestyle, and you're supposed to date like this and move like this? How many of our lives got ruined from that? How much trauma have we stacked on top of the trauma that we did not deal with for trying to date in the way that the world is telling us to date? And let me tell you something. I have dated multiple people at once. It's stressful. Okay? It's stressful. And then you feel like you can't tell everybody what's going on because more stress and more drama is going to come even though everybody's saying they cool with it. It's stressful. And then you're constantly having to change who you are, not who you are, but how you move depending upon who you are with. Because let's be serious, you're a different person with whoever you align yourself with. You can either grow with somebody or you can become toxic with somebody. You can either be completely in your feminine with somebody, or you can be halfway in it because you still feel like you're in survival with this person. So it's like you're constantly having to change your essence depending upon who you're with at that time. So why not just build with one person and say, you know what, I'm going to experience this fully. I'm going to take this in fully. I'm going to make sure I'm grounded in fully so that I can properly vet this person, this situation, and how life will be with this man. Before I just be all over the place and in limbo, and it's like, well, I like this man, but then I like him for this, but I like him for this, and I don't know. And you're going back and forth, and it's like you don't know what to do or what you're supposed to be or who you're supposed to be with. So now you're more confused than anything. And can I also say that I feel that it's extremely important to date yourself also. And this doesn't mean that you can't be in a relationship and date yourself. Like, we get so caught up. I'm going to bring the microphone closer to me just because I feel like this noise is a lot. But I feel like, I just seen a butterfly. Y'all, we are in transformation. A lot of us are going through a transformation, and we're about to come out completely and totally different, okay? We are in a rebirth. A rebirth is happening. A shift is here. So it's like, take in whatever is coming towards you and fully experience it, learn from it, grow from it. And don't think you have to move with the way of the world or how people are saying things should be, because I'm telling you, life is not what we've been taught. Life is not what we think it is. You are the creator of your own reality. Life is so much. Like, there's so many different levels and things that come with life that we are completely oblivious about. And we're trying to go with the way of the world and how people have told us or are telling us how it's supposed to be. And in us trying to go that direction, we're completely outside of our natural nature and essence and what we want it to be, what we desire for it to be. We're going against what we want based upon what other people may say and what other people may think and what the world has said is supposed to be. So in this season, really get in tune and align with yourself to figure out, what do I want a relationship to be? What do I want my relationship with myself to be? What do I want life to look like for me? And what is it going to take for me to get there? Especially when it comes to relationships and dating. What do you want that to look like for you? It's whatever you want. I spoke earlier on my TikTok. If you don't follow me there, make sure you do, because that's where we get to the nitty gritty. That's where I first started. Well, I first started speaking on YouTube, but I got deeper with my speaking on TikTok just because it was short form content and it was faster to get results on there. And from there, I started coming back on YouTube so that I can make long form content based upon what I spoke about on TikTok. So if you don't follow me on TikTok, definitely follow me there, because I speak about a lot. Okay. And I was speaking yesterday about being in limbo and how limbo can affect you and affect your relationship and affect your life, because you're not sure what you want, but you think you want this man, but you don't want this man, but you do, but you don't, and you're going back and forth, and you're putting everybody in limbo around you because you are in limbo. And until you you get grounded and decide what you want, then you'll forever be all over the place, and it will be easy for you to be manipulated or do things that you really don't want to do because you're all over the place and you have no idea or no clue what season you're in, no clue what you want. And you don't have the confidence to stand on what you want because you're so used to the world and other people outside of yourself telling you what to do and what you should choose. You never felt like you had a choice. So I was talking about that on TikTok yesterday, and I was saying, like, dang, I forgot where I was going with that, but it'll come back to me if I'm supposed to touch on it. I guess somebody needed what I just said and how I just said it, so we'll just stay there. I feel like when you're dating and when you choose somebody, it's about learning, growing, and also teaching. That has to become a thing within the relationship. It's not that you just get to build a bear and the perfect person is perfect and then from there everything's great and peaches and cream. It's like, no, you're going to go through ups and downs. You're going to go through different seasons. You're going to go through growth. You're going to go through so much in that relationship. So I feel like the best thing for you to do is find somebody who is willing to grow and expand and build with you, and who has no problem with correction, who has no problem with teaching, who is confident in themselves to where they're going to stand on what they believe, but they'll also have empathy to understand why you feel the way that you feel, and that is actively trying to work on communication, or already is great at communication, so that you guys can sit down and communicate effectively. I don't think it's about finding the best person. I don't think it's about just finding somebody, because we date. We've been around the block, okay? Or are going around the block right now, or spinning the block currently. We're doing that. And you're going to find somebody that might be good in bed, but you don't know how to talk to them, or they don't know how to talk. Like, you cannot have a conversation with this person, but they're good in bed, they're financially stable, they're fun. And then you find somebody where, okay, sexually you guys might not be on the same page, or they're not the most fun or the most sporadic, but they know how to communicate. They're emotionally intelligent. They know how to listen and empathize, and they're not perfect in that area, and they still have some struggles with insecurity or certain things of that nature. But for the most part, they have the core foundation of somebody that you can build with. We act like we cannot teach somebody how to please us when it comes to sex. We act like we can't teach somebody to communicate. We act like we can't teach somebody. We have to learn each other. It's not about things being easy all the time and just coming fast, coming quick, and just being built and put together. It's about teaching somebody what you like. It's about growing with somebody and making the active decision as to whether you want to be taught, and you want to learn, and you want to be better for that person and better for yourself. Because you becoming better for somebody outside of yourself is going to make you a better person, because they see the world differently than you do, and vice versa. So I just feel like we have been learning to date completely wrong, and we should focus on first getting in tune with ourselves, so that we can get grounded and know what it is that we desire, what our non-negotiables are, what our self-worth is, what we equate our value to. And from there, when we find that person that we're like, okay, cool, I'm choosing to commit to you and date you, and now from here we can build. And I'm not trying to possess you. I don't know what the future holds. We are human at the end of the day, so I cannot make you any promises. The only thing that I can promise you is that I will continue to try to build with you and become the best that I can be, not only for myself, but for you as well. And if there comes a point in time in our relationship where that no longer works and no longer serves us, then I will release you. I will let you go, and vice versa. And from there, at least we've grown. At least we have advanced. At least we're on a different level, to where we have a new set of skills, a new mindset. We're financially in a different space to where we can move forward and be better than we were when we first started, instead of getting in a relationship to where somebody becomes a placeholder and you don't really know what you want, how you want it, but it feels good right now, it's secure right now, so you're just staying in it to have fun, but you're not growing, you're not building, you're not expanding, you're not working towards any goal. You're just in a placeholder situation. And now when you think you come across better, it's like, okay, well, I'm done. And now the other person is left feeling like, dang, I didn't elevate, I didn't grow, I didn't do anything. I was so invested into you and you becoming better because I wanted you, that I didn't focus on myself. And now I'm left with nothing, and you've elevated and you're moving forward because I was just a placeholder for you, because you didn't know what you want, but this felt good and this felt safe. And that goes for both sexes. That goes for women and for men. We both can be placeholders. A woman can make a man a placeholder because he's secure, he's safe, but really she knows she wants something different. So the moment that she gets to a place that she wants to be, she moves forward with the different that she wants, but she leaves him in the same position. And then vice versa, you can be the safe option for a man and you feel good and you're convenient, but he knows that he desires something different. But in the meantime, between time, he's allowing you to speak life into him. He's allowing him to be built up. And he gets to a different place and advances, and then he moves forward, and you feel like you're left with less than what you came in the relationship with, and you never took time to focus on you. And now you're both people are stuck in regret within both scenarios. You're stuck in regret, feeling like, dang, I should have did more, and I should have did this, because now I'm left with nothing. When really, you're never left with nothing. You've grown and you've learned something from that situation that you can take to your next relationship and in life in general, right? So I feel like instead of getting in these relationships just for a placeholder, just for comfort, just for survival, just for convenience, we should get in them to build. Now, and we should be straight up from the beginning and say, listen, I don't know what the future holds, but for right now, You are who I want to commit with. For right now, you are who I want to build with. And we're still human, so we do not know what is going to happen in the future. But in this moment, I'm committing to being about you. I'm committing to growing with you. I'm committing to us building together as well as individually, and whatever the future holds, we will deal with it when it comes. We're not going to get caught up in it right now and then get caught up in control and then get caught up so much in what the future holds that we don't move, that we're stuck, that we're stagnant, that we're still, that we end up making this a toxic situation because we're trying to control the outcome. That's what we're not going to do. But what we will do is build together individually as well as one. And whatever the future holds, we will expand and elevate from there. And we will not possess each other. We will release each other if that time comes. And if that's what God leads us towards, you know? So I just wanted to come on here and speak about that, because I have been in a place where I've been reflecting a lot on my relationships in my past and what was and what can be and what should be. And I feel like we are so hard on ourselves and we think we have to be completely perfect, completely together, completely secure before we get into a relationship. And so now, because you're fearful of, because of your last outcome, you're fearful of this next situation, of giving yourself to it fully. So you're staying stagnant, you're staying stuck. You're like, oh no, I'm not going to move forward because I feel like I need to take a step back and focus completely on me and get my finances together and get myself grounded and get myself secure before I can be in this, because I'm afraid that it might not work out and I'll be left out and outside. Like, I'll be left in the dirt, I'll be left in the dust, I'll be left with nothing. You're letting fear drive you. So it's like, sit down and reflect on what you want and what you desire, and really analyze and date the person that you're with before you fully commit. And sit down and see, is this something that I can handle? Is this something that I'm ready for? Am I holding them back from getting what they desire because I feel secure in this, but I'm not ready? Sit down and ask yourself the right questions before you fully commit. And don't let fear be the thing that stops you from experiencing a great situation that will help you elevate and grow in life, and vice versa. Really sit down and reflect about that and take it to God. Go on a fast if you need to. I've been hearing about this challenge on TikTok where they've been saying for 7 days, the first 3 days